up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the one, the only, the WyOriginal Podcast. You're back with your host, Jared,
Angel Maldonado,
Dominic Syracuse.
And today we got some very special guests. If you're watching us live, well, not live, but if you're watching our video, we got some very special guests with us. We're not at the live portion yet. We got some very special guests with us today that we're going to introduce here shortly. Dom, you want to kick us off?
Check it out. All right. We are always talking on this show about how we're growing and things are growing and the fan base is growing and everything's growing. And now the set is growing. We literally have more people on this set right now than we've ever had. We have more people than we have microphones. We have more people than we have headphones.
It's all love, though.
We have more, and we're so grateful for it. That means that it's growing, and it also means that there's so much exciting stuff, and we are so happy to grow. And as we say on the show, come build with us. Let's grow together. So we have a super, super, super great show, and we have not one, but three guests on the show today, which is super duper duper exciting. I'm gonna start out. I'm gonna introduce these gentlemen here on this side of the table. These are local musicians who have been doing this for years and years and years. Y'all got this amazing event coming up. A lot of people know you. You might remember them from Funeral Fridays. You might remember them from when we did Hip Hop Night back in Dillinger's. You might remember them from any of the stuff they did. Everybody give it up for Alienation in the house.
Let's go.
Thank you for having us.
Also, presidential artist at a point in time.
That's right.
Yes. Here in the studio getting
super happy to have you on.
Where the seed was planted.
Yeah,
right here.
That sounded naughty.
I'm just saying, man. That's how it happened.
This isn't Colorado.
That's all good.
You gotta do it. You're right. We have a very, very special WyOriginal.
Honestly, my brother who put it all together, you know what I mean? You know, it was a file, actually. You know, after the logo was put together, the brand was solid. It was in a file cabinet. You know what I'm saying? And you got to give it up to my man, Irving Mercado, a.k.a. Dropo Bandito. So give it up to my man.
We got Drop in the house. Now, for those that don't know, you know, we talk about WyOriginal, how all, you know, this originated here in Wyoming. We want to talk about what's going on in Cheyenne, what's all the local stuff happening underground. But the origins of WyOriginal is right here, isn't it? Tell us about that.
Facts. Well, basically, you know, Drop was getting more creative. How could I even say more creative? Always creative. And he was like, check this logo out. This is a new brand. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty fire. So, you know what I mean? I'm liking this. So it was just put away in the file cabinet. You know, we did some logos, stickers, and stuff like that. But we never really took it to the next level. And then upon, you know, we talk about doing the podcast. And then it was like, it's time to bring this out the files. We got our show name. And he was the creator, you know what I'm saying? So round of applause to Drop. I mean, he's always been creating. It's my brother for life, you know. I feel like he's done so much for presidential, personally for me. And he's a huge part of the reason why it's come build with us presidential, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
and why WyOriginal is now WyOriginal. So
yeah,
I want to give it up for my man. You know
so here's the thing. For those that don't know, I mean, when I first started popping around the shop, when, you know, everyone's recording and all this stuff, I always knew Drop as the guy behind the scenes. You know, you were always hanging out back here, producing and all this stuff. And then I come to find out this dude is actually one of the most like sought after videographers around, man. Like the first time we had a conversation, you're doing like this campaign for like the entire military or something. Like, and it's like,
I remember when you were doing that.
And it's not just like a normal military campaign either. Like, he was literally like I come in and he's like, yeah, check out what I'm doing. And it's like this like 3-dimensional, this thing's gonna be a big poster in LA, and you put your phone up to it, and then the military people like come and talk to you on the phone, and they're like, join the military, and they punch you in the dick, and it's like, it's all interacting. You feel it.
Like literally.
I'm just
literally.
No, I'm just saying, it's like it was amazing. And then And so he's doing this amazing stuff locally, and then, but he's like, I'm here, doing the stuff, producing, making music, making beats, all this, and then you ran away. You went off to California. Tell us all about that, man. How is it being back? Tell us about your origins here, and then what's going on in Cali.
For sure, man. Well, shit. First of all, it's good to be back. It's good to be sitting here with all you beautiful people. You know what I mean? You are all folks who have, to some extent, impacted my life in my time here in Cheyenne. So yeah, I ended up in Cheyenne, kind of married to the military. Eventually got divorced and ended up stuck here for a while, not sure what I was gonna do with my life, and met this man right here next to me, Angel Maldonado. We exchanged conversation over a haircut, and one thing led to another. Similar interests over music and music production. We had the idea to mix it up and get involved with the studio. And so the presidential studio that you see here kind of became my playground, man. And it really became a place for me to start working on my craft and a platform to take some of the creations I was creating and put them out into the real world. So shout out Angel for providing that platform.
Absolutely.
Shout out.
So I always knew you did music, and it took me a while, like he said, like you do the videography. So how'd you go from music to find your passion in the videography? What led you down that road?
Yeah. Well, shit. I've always been a creative person. Really since a kid. I've jumped in and out of things. Anything that caught my attention that I could express myself, I was all in on it. And so throughout my life, I've developed a pretty big skill set because of that. I always say that I get bored easy, so I jump into something, do that for a while, and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna try something else now. And so yeah, that has kind of led me into all kind of things, and how I got into video, working at the presidential studio, taking artists like Alien Nation here, who were probably one of the first few artists that I had the pleasure of working with here in Cheyenne. Initially started with recording and music production. Saw a need for graphic design. Artists who would come in would have a need for graphic design and photography and video, and I was in a space where I could provide that. And so at the same time, while these artists were working on their craft, I was working on mine. And yeah, over the years of being here in the studio, utilizing the space, really got to perfect that craft. And yeah, I grew the same way the studio has grown, the same way the barbershop has grown, all of that.
And it's been an honor. I mean, it was awesome working with you back then, and to see where you've come from then to now is just, it's awesome. The progression is great.
Thanks,
well, yeah. And so here's a crazy thing for those that you're watching. This actually was like a happy accident, right? Because Alienation reached out because they have a very special event that they're doing this weekend, which we're going to get into, we're going to talk about. But then the thing was that Angel calls and goes, yo, Drop's in town.
Facts.
He's here. And
we didn't even know.
Yeah.
We walked up here and he was like, what's up? And we're like, oh my God, like, freaking out.
So we're like, well, we got to get y'all together. We got to have everybody on. Now, y'all actually have some history, right? What's the history?
Yeah, we started working with Drop, what was it, 5-6 years ago?
Probably like 2015. I mean, Drop probably produced like the first 30-40 tracks that I made personally. Sold me my first beat, all original stuff too, did our first logo. I mean, he's done a ton for us.
I remember we were printing shirts in your printing press that you bought in the studio, and we were just figuring it out. And I mean, and those were the times when we were just figuring out how to do music. I remember walking into your studio being so nervous because I was like, this is the real deal. And I was like, I would be nervous, man, recording with you. And, and then we got comfortable. But in those early years, it was man, I mean, you look back on it now and you see how important that was, not for our growth and, you know, for everybody's growth, in my opinion. Like, it started us on our track in music in Cheyenne.
Yeah, really Drop's been super instrumental in the hip hop scene in Cheyenne, just in general.
And it's not just music. I mean, we did great shows through Drop.
Facts.
And Angel too. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have had a lot of the opportunities that we got, you know.
Yo, and going back to that, you know, that was just a lot of the creative stuff. Like when I first got here with the barbershop, you know, the way we met, I mean, that's the universe, right? You know what I mean? You got like some powerful pillars about to develop a community without even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? But when you get that universe working together and then the collaborations start, now the dynamic is starting to happen, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like being greedy or selfish and stuff, but, you know, I think presidential as a whole has done a huge amount. I've said this on the podcast before, has brought immense amount of culture due to these efforts. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, Drop was a huge inspiration to this community, not just to artists, the whole community. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was blessed to, we fall, I guess, on each other's laps. Pause. You know what I'm saying? It was a great situation.
No. Here's something. Like this is something that. Okay, there's this really, really great. I think it's like maybe a Taoist quote or something like that, where it says, "If there's a path laid before you, it's not your path." Because to say we got to make our own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got to do your own thing. You got to create your own thing. And so a lot of times, whenever somebody has a creative idea, when you tell someone your creative idea, people are like, what? Like, what you're saying makes no sense. And it's because it's your idea.
Right.
So you got to just get out and do it. And the coolest thing is, I think Presidential Barbershop has got to be the best tangible embodiment of that in town, because like here, this is just from my point of view, is that I remember when Presidential first started, I remember y'all being tied with Tribe Zoo tattoo. Right. So it was right. So here's the thing, is that it was like, and I found out because I was working at a radio station, and they were like, oh, this Tribe Zoo and the Presidential Barbershop are going to sponsor a hip hop show. So this is Cheyenne's first tattoo / barbershop / production company. Yeah. And it's like, when you think of that, that's not like what comes when someone goes, you know, I'm gonna make a barbershop and we're gonna do tattoos there. And we're also gonna bring Afro Man to Cheyenne. Like, that's not necessarily what you think of when you think.
Shout out to Trinidad.
Yeah, Trin.
Big shout out.
Big shout out. So here's the thing, is that then, you know, you come in, but it makes total sense. Right. And then you get your own spot. There's great music playing. It's the community. It's the Presidential Barbershop. But then you come back, and now there's a whole studio. You guys are producing music. You're producing shows. You're bringing all this stuff to Cheyenne. You're essentially using it as a vehicle to do whatever you want. And now, for people in Cheyenne, that isn't a weird thing to be like, oh yeah, barbershop / production company / studio / where we film the podcast. Like, that's just what it is, because that's what you thought, that's what you came up with. And the craziest part is, everybody at this table has roots at Presidential.
Man.
Right?
Because me and Angel met over a haircut, same thing, just like Drop, and that's how we got. I don't know. Did y'all?
How did you meet Drop?
So my brother was getting his haircut.
See,
in the
look,
barbershop. Yeah. He was like, he let me know, hey, they got a studio.
All in line, baby. Everybody fell in line.
So I met Drop through Brandon, because he told me, he was like, you got to come over and we got to start laying tracks down in this guy's studio, and that was it, man. The rest was history.
Angel's like Illuminati, basically. He just he linked everybody.
I'm gonna tell you, I
am so glad I didn't wear.
You were like the
I had the all CNI on my left, and I was like, "Don't do that tonight. Don't do it." I was like, don't wear that shirt. And look, it's great the way things work, right? And it's such a blessing to have Drop here, and Alienation, because we got a lot to cover with them. But the fact that he was here, it was just like, it's organic. I'm like, yo, you on the show tonight, and that's it. And you have good reason to be on it. You created such a brand logo for this community. Once again, doing community inspiring work, and I need you on the show.
And for those who didn't see, it was actually a blessing from God that Drop was here today.
Facts again.
Because I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like, first thing, we come out. It's late. We normally shoot. You hear us talk about it all the time. We normally shoot the show at 7 a.m. on like a Sunday, right? But we're like, oh, Drop's in town. We got to get you guys in before your event this weekend. So we're recording this it was supposed to be 9 o'clock. I don't know. I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning right now. I have no idea.
We're going all night.
We're going all night. But here's the funny thing. I show up and I'm like, hey guys, just so you know, I put the SD card in the recorder wrong. And so then we're like calling Angel like, hey man, can you bring some tweezers so I can get it out of this? And then Drop's like, hang on, I found a nail on the fridge. Let's do this. And we're like doing all that. And then we finally get it out. We save it. We're able to record. Drop's like, let me make this look real good. We're gonna change some angles up. We're gonna do all this. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna do whatever. And then, like, as we're setting it all up, we're like, hey, we don't have a jack. Do you have a jack? And Drop's like, hang on. And he goes to his treasure chest of everything you need for production. And he's like, I got this, and let me do this. And so here we are bringing this to you. And I really mean it when I say, if you were not here, we could not have done any of this.
Everything here came out of his backpack. The table, the cords, the mics is all in his backpack.
Man, I'm telling you.
That's it.
Yeah, man. So it's a pleasure to have you on, King, and I'm glad you're here, and it's nice, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Now.
Let's move our way over to alienation. So y'all have been in the local scene for a long time. You've been making music all over and everything, and you guys got a super big show coming up this Saturday. Tell us about it. What's going on?
So we're setting up our first headlining event, our first show, really. I mean, we did do a rap battle a couple years ago, but y'all know how that went. It went well, but we were young, dumb, didn't know what we were doing. So this is our first time really planning things out and wanting to actually give back to our community. We're doing the Alienation Donation Invasion. It's going to be this Saturday from 12 to 3. Everything that we make is going to go right back to the animal shelter. We are asking people to bring dog food, cat food, anything for animals. They just said whatever, we can use it all, including cash money, So
of course,
all forms are welcome. But yeah, that's what's going on. We're also doing a raffle, which Brandon, if you want to tell them about the raffle and all our sponsors.
Yeah, we're doing a raffle. It's gonna be like $5 a ticket, or you can get 5 for $20, and we're actually gonna be raffling off a Nintendo Switch. The Lincoln
Nintendo Switch, man.
I need a Switch.
Which shout out Frontier Detailing here in town, because he actually helped us pay for a good portion of that.
Dope.
Yeah. Yep. And then the Lincoln hooked us up with 2 tickets to Soulja Boy.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to John and Renee. Appreciate y'all.
And then we got artwork from Tourist Tracks that we're going to be raffling off. We got gift cards to The Tribe, Frontier Detailing, Ruby Juice. Ernie's as well. Yep, Ernie's hooked us up. Shout out to them. We love them as well.
So there's gift cards, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be able to raffle
Wyoming
off.
Wave, too, made a custom jersey. It's a 101 that we're going to raffle off as well during their set.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
So where is it happening?
So it's going to be at the Blue Raven Brewery.
Blue Raven Brewery.
Yes, which is over off 18th.
This Saturday the 24th.
24th from 12 to 3.
So this episode will drop on, by the way, this will drop. This will drop. Catching this Saturday morning. That means it's tonight. If you're catching this Sunday, you missed it. I'm sorry.
So also too, it's not just we're performing too, but we also put our other local hip hop friends, and I call them friends because they are friends.
Yes.
We're all
Who
family.
are some of these friends?
Yeah, who's on the bill?
So we have Ocean Plains, which he's more of an acoustic artist. But he does get down. He's got some raps. He has some hip hop sets that he's going to bring too. We also got Bone C and Young Frederick, which
Love Bone seeing Young Frederick.
By the
Love
way,
them.
we just found out that they're going to be opening up for Ritz at the Lincoln.
Wow,
Nice.
So,
No way.
Yeah, so huge shout out to those two.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, big time.
Heard it here first.
Yeah. Then we got Savage Green, which
Savage Green goes hard.
yeah,
He goes hard.
and he puts in a lot of work too. Like he hustles. He did a tour not that long ago.
I was
in
gonna
New
say I just saw
Mexico.
he was on tour not
yeah,
too long ago.
Yeah, and also the other guys that are going to be on there, which most people know about now, are Vontae Sladed and Pocketbook Prophet
Yeah.
Once again,
from Wyoming Wave.
Yeah, we've only been hearing about them doing little things like opening up for Ice Cube.
Yes.
Bone Thugs.
Headlining
Yeah.
Friday on the Plaza, little things.
You know.
And
actually big things.
yeah.
And little things pop.
And the thing is we all it's all a community thing. We all help each other out. It's not.
I feel like you call this a WyOriginal moment.
Exactly.
WyOriginal
Absolutely.
moment.
Exactly.
And the thing that we love so much about, this is what WyOriginal is all about. It's literally what we've been finding is it's what's growing and it's what's beautiful. It's what needs to keep growing.
Yeah.
Is we are all, anybody who's come on the show, our through line is we're all a bunch of artists who want to use our artists to make our community a better place.
That's exactly.
And so we got a bunch of excellent hip hop artists, Cheyenne, WyOriginal hip hop artists who are coming together to do this awesome benefit in an awesome place for the animal shelter. Why'd you want to choose the animal shelter?
We like animals. That's plain that's a simple answer.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, we were gonna center it around mental health, but we just did that show at Ernie's for suicide prevention.
Great.
So we
nice.
decided to take a different avenue, and we were like, let's and we know that they were having some issues this year.
They got defunded recently, so
Who did?
The animal shelter lost their funding.
Wow.
yeah.
What?
So we definitely
Don't quote us, but I'm pretty sure it was city funding.
Wait, no way. What? Do you know any more detail about that, or did they just let you know they lost?
It was in the
funding?
paper. I know that for sure.
We don't read the paper.
Yeah. Wait,
So I'll find the article and then we'll talk about that. So some people will actually know
definitely-
this.
That's a pretty big deal, though.
that's a big deal. I didn't know
Yeah.
because you talk about like a well loved and well established
Exactly.
nonprofit in Cheyenne.
It's a fact.
They've always shown out for the community too. Like they
Always.
They're great people. Nikki Harrison, shout out to her over there. She's wonderful.
Shout out to Nikki. Yeah, Nikki's amazing.
Yeah, we would not have been able to set this up without her help.
Right, Brittany's amazing. I mean, there's everybody over
Yep.
there is incredible.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100, man. Like, this is the type of efforts that are impressive. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you see young talent out here taking care of themselves. They gotta have jobs, right?
Right.
Yeah, we both work 40 hours.
They got
a week too, man.
they got artistry, which is a careering pursuit to
Yeah,
get into
yeah.
that game, and then to come back to community efforts. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, shout out to that, man. Shout out to y'all. Putting in more effort than just yourselves being selfless and coming out here saying, I want to help out. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And I think that's what we lack a lot of. You know what I'm saying? But to see efforts like this and, artists making things happen, you know what I mean? Coming together, as you said, that's impressive, man. So shout out to you guys for putting in that extra
Thank
work.
you. Well, and here's the cool thing, and I tell people this a lot. People think hip hop and they think, dirty lyrics, whatever, nasty, like the stuff you hear on the radio a lot.
Yep,
And that is not how it is in this town.
It's
And
not.
if you
It's
listen
really not.
to the songs, it's all about self-empowerment. It's all about being a positive mind and
you're right.
and being a part of our community and empowering people to think for themselves and to drive themselves to be bigger, and that's a lot of what the music we hear coming out of Cheyenne is about.
Yes, sir.
And
I remember when we were doing efforts when Drop would come with an idea or as we're growing we're like, yeah, we need to do this, and everybody said no. You know what I mean? Everybody was challenging us like, nah, but we still got in the door.
Yes.
And then when people saw what we were doing, it's like we're breaking numbers people have never seen.
Look.
We're creating a space where the space is more enjoyable.
Yes.
And it's like we're defeating what you thought. And we're overcoming better possibility, right?
And that's what it.
facts.
And I honestly feel like in those efforts, because I think those are stepping stones, right? And that's like blueprint to help develop, right? So you start seeing like the artists stepping up because everybody was at these times. And then you see the timeline effect of how those stepping stones and those efforts were creating and changing. Yeah. Yes. And now you're seeing artists that we were working with who were part of Presidential doing the same efforts, if not better.
And a lot of times people, you know, it's hard for them to see the growth, you know, because they see one day they don't know who you are. And then the next day they know you.
Right.
But people don't really know about how long it took to get to that point, you know, and how much work and blood, sweat, and tears that go into it, because it really is. It's a lot of work, you know.
Here's what I like about just hip hop in general, you know, because I'm all about self-expression. I'm an actor and stand-up comedian by trade, but it's all forms of self-expression. And the thing about music, I mean, music's beautiful, and it's actually one of the only art forms that works both sides of the brain at once, which is interesting. But what's more, the hip hop that I like to listen to, exactly like you said, is when you hear dudes and women and whoever who are getting up. And even though at times it might sound like, you know, what do they criticize it for? Being like violent or negative or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is
it's a story.
The through line, there's two things. Number one, it's like Eminem said. Eminem had this great quote where he said, "I've never gone to therapy. I've just had a pen and a paper."
And that's
where it's like we all have something inside, and when you have the ability to get it out on paper and express it, then you don't have to do it in real life. You can live it vicariously through your art. But the other thing is, the through line through all of it is that spirit of, I have something great inside of me. I can do this. And it's like you're proclaiming it. And then when I listen to it, I'm not a hip hop artist, but like when I listen to it, I feel empowered. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, I can do this.
Well, and especially in a market where you all probably know, like hip hop it's I wouldn't say it's all negative, but there's a lot of negative things associated with it. And we want to try and flip that and say, hey, you don't have to follow this route of being a gangster badass, shooting people, doing drugs, cheating on your woman. Like that's if that's what you're about, whatever. But you don't have. You can do hip hop and be a good person. You can express yourself through hip hop and not be a gangster. You know,
be both though. Like I mean, there's a lot of like a lot of rappers. They tell a story, which it may sound negative, but it may be exactly what they It's exactly where they grew up. But then they can have a woman empowerment song. They can write a rap about their mom.
Totally.
So I mean, it's just a form of expression. I'm just telling you, this is my life. This is what I went through. If it sounds negative, it may have been, but
but check this out. Check this out. Because of the efforts in music, right? Look what they doing though. They getting entrusted to have a responsibility for their community.
Yep.
Right.
That's a huge effort.
Yeah.
Like we trust you guys to go do this. I believe you guys are gonna go get sponsors. They're not even looking at their music no more.
Yeah.
They've built themselves. They've been recognized, and then they've been trusted. Like that's a beautiful thing. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like you got to put that work in. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And we've talked about this. Because your favorite artist Jay-Z, and Jay-Z always talks about how even though because it's known knowledge that he made his first album off of selling crack. Because of that though, we talking 30, 40 years ago. People won't let that go. Oh yeah, he's done all of these amazing things, all of his philanthropy, anything that he does. They're gonna try to override it, but look what he did, 30 years ago.
I feel like that's just people being jealous in my
and that could be a fact, that could be a possibility. But what I'm saying is, what you guys have done, regardless of how this blueprint has been created in this community, people know you for your music, and they're allowing you and trusting you to do something phenomenal for your community.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you guys doing this for not just Ernie's with the suicide prevention, but now the animal shelter, creating and just helping them stay up and, bring more awareness to what their situation is. You know what I'm saying?
See, and this is
and that's valuable now. You guys just haven't been working. You guys created value. You know what I mean? It's being appreciated. So you got to shout out to that, man.
We think about that.
I'm feeling it.
No, I'm just saying
Hang on.
I am too, man.
I
that's
think,
so real, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and you
What
got
do
to
you got
give
to
credit
say?
to that. You know, a lot of people always just think, oh, you do this, but they don't look at the other side. They wait for the first time you make the first mistake
facts.
out of the 100
Yes.
great things you've done, and now you're nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Look.
So we went through that. I know what that
That's
feeling's
it.
like, but it's just great to see how these cats are just going, you know, and making that effort. Like, yo, you see, it can happen.
No.
You know what I mean?
I'm all right.
Here we go again.
It's time. It's time. So once an episode, I get on a soapbox. That's what I do. And I have to so that I can be eye to eye with the rest of you because I'm a very little man.
But he's
So
a 12-year-old genius. So don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that.
This is what I love. This is what I love about it, man. One time I heard somebody say this. They said, the opposite of crime is caring. Right? So crime is just, in any way, it's just not caring about somebody else and doing something that's uncaring, right? But the opposite of crime is caring. And also the opposite of, hate is love. The opposite of things that are bad is things that are good. And where I'm going with this is we live in a world where we're constantly bombarded with look at all the bad stuff going on. Look at this bad. Look at this negative. Look at this bad news. Look at this. Look at this. And it's really easy for us to feel defeated. It's really easy for us to go, damn, that's a problem so much bigger than me. I guess the world's just falling apart and I got to watch it, But exactly what you guys are doing with this animal shelter. You heard the animal shelter got defunded and you're like, that's bad. I mean, that's bad news. And you're like, you know what? The opposite of bad is good. So I'm going to take what I can do. I'm going to take my skill. I'm going to take my love. I'm going to take my craft. I'm going to get my friends together. We're going to all get together and we're going to do something good for them.
Exactly.
We see the bad. We're going to fix it with our tools. And our tools are our ideas, our thoughts, our art. So if you're an artist, you can do that. But if you're not an artist, it doesn't matter. The question is, what do you have to bring to the table when the table is falling apart?
Exactly.
That's the truth about it. And it's all about jumping on it too, and not just saying you're going to do something, but getting out there, getting off your ass and doing it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And whatever the idea is, however dumb it may sound, I mean, we started rapping in an apartment on, a laptop. And
It was like a tablet. It wasn't even a laptop.
yeah, it's like a tablet. And
It was an iPad.
Yeah. What is it? What was that? The musician, like GarageBand.
yeah,
Right?
and
It was GarageBand.
It was GarageBand.
It's on your iPhone. It's a little app. You know.
That's it.
We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't even know why we were doing rap. We just knew that we were talented and we were writing and that we needed a voice. And now it's like, holy crap, we have a voice. Like we can push things in the world that we feel are core values to us and important things like taking care of your neighbor. Like, I mean, it's, what do you got to say about
just
that?
changing the things around us in a positive way. We don't like what we see, but we can affect that
Through
we don't
music.
have to just sit here.
Yeah.
Love it.
And we
I
do
love
it through music. And it's self-empowering because you hear that and you say, wow, like these guys, we're just two kids from Cheyenne.
You know what I mean? Like
Why
even,
originals though? Why originals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our music wasn't always like super positive either. Like if you go back, there was times where the music was negative.
But see,
it wasn't
that's
just
also why I was
like you were
saying.
Right.
It's a learning process.
I really
You guys-
appreciated what you said.
Right.
'Cause, yeah, it's not all just like.
But look at that
sunshine
though.
and
Look what you
rainbows.
just said, right? But you're still being trusted with a huge responsibility, and they believe you now, right?
Yep.
That's what I was saying. I remember when they
we had
always
to find
told
our
us no.
path.
And now they're telling y'all yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you got to go through that. You
Yeah.
got to, like, people always say, damn, why ain't they moving fast enough for me? Because you ain't working hard enough.
That's
Well,
it.
we had to realize why we were in this. Like, what did we want out of this? What were we bringing to the table? Why were we making this music?
I guess, I guess what I would ask now is, because it's happening, it's going to happen Friday. Being on the show.
Saturday.
Oh, my bad. We're airing Friday, so that we can get all the publications so you could come out on Saturday. But I guess now that we here and we put it together, and I'm so thankful that WyOriginal can help this moment be a voice with your voice. What would you want to talk to the people about as far as what else you would need and what kind of participation of anything else would help this event?
I mean, at this point, we really just need people to come
Need
out
people
and
to
support
show
these.
So
up.
man, this is your moment. Talk to the people.
Show
Let
up,
them know what you
please
want.
show up for your community and give back to the animal shelter because they really do need our help. And you're going to hear some good music. And this is a great time to get involved with your community. There's going to be so many people out here from different walks of life, different businesses. I'm sure some of our sponsors I know are going to show up.
Nice.
So that's a good opportunity for everybody to really integrate together and get involved and be a part of this community.
And how much is it to get in?
It's free.
I love that answer. That's my favorite answer. I love free events.
No excuses, right?
All you have
No
to bring,
excuses.
if you want to bring one can of dog food, if you want to bring $1, you'll get in the door.
Yeah.
You know what I've noticed too, and this is even me too, being a part of that.
And we
what I'm about to
don't
say.
want any profit from this at all. Everything. We don't want to make any money, anything
fact.
from this, man.
But I think the hardest thing all the time is, and I'm noticing this too, just in some things in my life, is just showing up.
Show up.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like that's the hardest thing for all of us as a people to do, as a race to do, like to show up. And once you show up, everybody shows out.
What drives me and what drives me crazy sometimes with Cheyenne is I got here when I was, I think, 21. I think I landed from Houston, Texas. And so it was culture shock.
Yeah.
And the one I would ask, like, I make friends in the military, and and I would say, hey, what is there to do here? And they would all say, oh, nothing.
Drink,
And then
go to the caddy.
Right. So when I was 21, my mid 20s, I would believe that, and then, but then once I got out, I'm like, there's a lot of shit to do here.
That's a fact.
They just, I don't know what it is, but it's so
show up.
hard to just show up.
Show
and
up,
just,
man.
And like support, like I see all of these places that pop up, like this club, this bar, this venue, and I'm just like, and it's sad. Me and my wife talk about it all the time. We was like, damn, I hope they stay around. I hope people support so they stay around. So like you said, the one thing, it's so easy
The hardest
to do.
thing.
It's so
the
easy. It's the
easiest.
easiest thing to do. Just show up.
Show
up.
But it's cool though because you I'm sure you guys have noticed too. There is a difference. It's blossoming here.
Well, no, I'm so
People
glad you're
are
saying
starting
that.
to-
Yo,
they
let
are
me,
starting to
and
show
I want to take time to shout out Blue Raven because
Big time,
it's going
yeah.
to be at Blue Raven.
Yeah, totally
Blue
shout out
Raven,
Blue Raven.
For those who don't know, is formerly
Rick owns it.
Yeah, Rick
too.
now owns it. It was formerly Daniel Marks.
Yep.
It's right across from it's right across from the Mexican restaurant. I believe it's
Yeah, it's like that grocery store.
17th and
Whatever.
Fire tacos, by
Fire.
the way.
That's what everyone says. But
18th.
18th, yeah, 18th.
Is it La Paz? Is that what it is called? La
I
Paz?
think so. I
Paz,
think
yeah.
so.
La Paz, yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
so
out
it's
to La
right
Paz,
across
man.
from that.
They sponsor us. You might remember that.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, the
exactly.
tacos
Just
are always
if you wanted
fire,
to-
but yeah, that's
No,
where it's across the street from.
Let me tell you this because okay, so we actually just had an event there last night, and it was a beautiful event. It was called Men Speak, and it was with the Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
Wow.
And they set up a thing where it's just men, and the men get up, and what it is men tell vulnerable stories to kind of challenge the idea that men aren't supposed to share their feelings.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's
And that's
awesome.
literally what we did. And I'm telling you, I mean, it was in tears. There was this one dude. Oh my God, I'm gonna tear up talking about it. But there's this one dude, and he was this biker dude, and he was like this 6-foot dude with like, those dudes whose like necks come out of their shirts. You know what I mean? It's like their neck is like oozing out of their shirt. Like he was that guy. And I mean, he was like 6-foot, huge biker guy. And he told, oh my God, I'm not going to make it through this. He told this story about his son and how, his son got in an accident when he was 17, got a brain injury. And his son had to be flight for life, and he was there with his son the whole time. But then he talked about how, he was there and he was tearing. I mean, this was this big biker guy with a Fu Manchu and wearing a jean everything, and he's tearing up and he's crying. Talking about how his son had this brain injury, and all he wanted was for his son to make it through. And the big reveal was that, technically speaking, he's his stepfather. It's not his biological son.
Wow.
But
That's
that didn't matter.
No.
And he was like, and so he talked about that, just this, like what it means to be a caring father and what it means to love and lose and possibly losing. Oh my gosh, I was losing my mind. But here's my point, is that we got this dude talking about this, right? And we're on the front patio of this beautiful brewery. I mean, the Blue Raven has done, if you haven't gone there,
it's beautiful.
It is this beautiful thing. And so here's what I'm,
really good beer too.
they do. And again, it's all brewed there because it's a brewery. So it's this local brewery.
Yeah. It's a local brewery.
And they brew it in the corner. And so here's the thing, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm looking around. Here's what we did. You know, my wife and I, we went and we grabbed some amazing, there was the food cart, I believe it's called like Doña Murray, something like that. It's amazing food cart.
Is it the one that's like all white?
Yes.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And we got, I'm not making this up, the best tortas I've ever had in my entire life. Like, they made it, and when I looked at it, I was like, I'll have the special, but I was like, I don't think all those meats go together. Like, it was like ham, fried chicken, steak, chorizo, like tomatoes, lettuce, pineapple, all together, and I was like, I don't think that's all gonna, I mean, it sounds like you just took the leftovers of everything and threw it in between two buns, you know, but I took a bite of this, and I was like, this is the best sandwich I've ever had. Like, you ever take a bite of something and get angry? It's so good. Yeah. Like, I was like, why is this happening? Like, anyway, so I'm sitting there. I got this sandwich from an amazing food truck in this hand. I got a beer that was brewed right there in this hand.
At the Blue Raven.
I'm sitting on this deck that's got all this art and all these hanging lights. I'm watching the sunset downtown, and I'm listening to this man bare his soul for this event against domestic violence, and I'm going, what town am I in? Wow. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here going, beautiful, like, man. I'm going like, I'm like, this is the kind of stuff I moved out of Cheyenne to go to LA for.
Right.
And now I'm sitting here going like, this is happening.
I'm telling you, the
right now.
Seed's blooming, man.
It's blooming.
It really is.
And then to think that like the same week, it's like, oh, hey, if y'all enjoyed this, come to this local hip hop show where we're going to be raising money for the animal shelter. And it's
How great is that?
This is the kind of place that I want to be.
Not only that, but we can get on here and shout out to you guys for creating a platform for artists.
It's our pleasure.
Which was the goal.
And honestly,
which was the goal of this podcast.
That's what a WyOriginal moment is. You're
exactly
watching it right now.
Yeah.
It didn't even take that much time. It took a few minutes, and he said, yeah, let's get it done. And then we get blessed by Dropo.
Absolutely.
Irving McCarter to be on a set at the same time. So look at how great the universe works, man. Shout out to Wyoming. Shout out to Cheyenne. Shout out to Alien Nation for getting it not just done, but making it happen.
Absolutely. So Alien Nation, donation, invasion.
That sounds so good, man.
Persuasion.
Thanks, bro.
Not Asian. No.
Just rolls on Alien Nation, donation, invasion.
That does go pretty good.
So
this Saturday.
Funeral Friday is not started yet,
right.
There it goes. You started getting a little preview.
I know, I'm getting hot.
This Saturday, June 24th, Blue Raven Brewery. So again, 12 to 3. All you got to do is show up, show out, bring some stuff with you, bring some friends and family. Give them y'all social media. What can they find y'all?
Yeah.
We're on everything. We have
Facebook, Instagram,
what's y'all tag?
Twitter.
Tag them up.
Especially, please go on to our Spotify and follow us too.
Boom.
It's Alien Nation with a 3 instead of an E.
Yep. Make sure it's with a 3. The E is a 3.
We'll have some tags at the end of this video so you can get more familiar with that as well.
We're gonna have other. You know,
What's next? So you have this coming up, and like I said, this will drop right before.
Yeah.
So we won't have you guys on again. Maybe not so soon. So what's next after that?
So,
anything else?
We
go ahead, Brandon.
We're doing a show with No Love Gang on July 21st out at the GI Forum on the South Side. They're doing a blacklight party for the first night of Frontier Days.
So that's dope. That's fly.
Yeah, big time.
Local event.
A blacklight party. Yeah. Man, there's gonna be a lot of. Look, I'll tell you
Show
something
up.
about blacklight parties. Listen. Listen. Yeah. All I'm gonna say is watch what you wear. That's what I'm saying.
Also, another shout out to Vontae Slated and Pocketbook Profit.
Yeah.
They got a slot for Fridays on the Plaza.
Yes.
You know what they're
we very well know.
You know what they're gonna do with that? They're putting everybody on.
Oh, I love it. So just local artists.
They're putting the local hip hop scene up with them.
Was that supposed to be a surprise? Or?
No.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
Yo, if it was, my bad.
Yeah, if it was, please don't kill us.
No, we're dropping
Far
it here,
too
and
kind.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's the community we're talking about there, man. It's all love right now.
Because they could have taken that moment and been like, this is all about us. Yep. We're the one on this stage. There's going to be 4,000 people in that crowd, and we're the ones who rose above. But instead, they're like, nope. Bring it.
And
share the love.
And it's beautiful. You talk to them, and it's love, man. It's all community. And I'm telling you, you go to other cities, and it's not like that. It's competition based. Yeah. We don't work with this guy, or we don't want to work with this guy, right? Mm-hmm. And up here, it's like
it's a community, not a competition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love it. So,
since we getting there, look, I like that. It's a community, not a competition. So, with great thought and great thinking, WyOriginal now has a new slogan. You know what I mean? And I really want to stress this because I'm bringing this to get back to the youth. Like I told you, I'm dedicating a part of this show always to you guys. Make sure you know we are always here. There's always going to be avenues. We'll have some hotlines at the end of this to show where the parents can get help if they need help. Youth can get help if they need help. You know, the barbershop's always available. We got great cast, great leadership in our community to always help you so you're not alone. But the slogan is, we're all relative, but we need to be more familiar.
Facts.
And that's who our community is, WyOriginal. So just know that, and know that we're always dedicating our time to our youth, and just know we're not just listening and hearing, we're always complimenting back to let you know we're still here. So if you're watching this, catch the last one. We're not just saying it, we're constantly letting you know that we are going to be committed to your efforts as well.
Absolutely. Drop church announcements. I know you're not in town anymore. What you working on?
Actually, why you here?
Why are you here?
Yeah. You're making us beats, right?
I wish, man. Those were the days right there. I could go back to that. Man, yeah, I'm in town actually working on a project for Visit Cheyenne through the company I work full time for, which is Madden Media. We do tourism across the country for various clients, and yeah, I just happened to be here in Cheyenne this week doing some interviews around town with some trailblazers in the community. So
I love it.
Yeah,
love it. Trailblazers in the community.
Yeah, exactly. We already knew that, bro.
Add it to the schedule, right?
There you go.
That's sick. What else we got? What church announcements we got? What else we got?
Andrew, got anything coming up?
Church announcements. Actually, I do got something coming up. I'm just waiting for this meeting to go through, but this would be to be continued moment.
To be continued.
Special shout out will be coming here soon. Okay. So just wait for it.
I got a big one. All right. You have heard me now on this podcast talk about the big grand opening of Moody's Rock Stop in Sierra Coral. I don't know if you know about this, but Ivan Moody, the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch, he's moved to Cheyenne, and he's made the choice to make Cheyenne his home.
And we were the first. We were given the opportunity to announce his announcement.
We were able, and here's the deal. It's crazy. He literally got stuck here on tour because of a snowstorm. He got like trapped, and he looked around and he was like, "Yo, I like this place." And and so then when he got off tour, he was like, "I'm good." He just made the choice that I'm gonna move here, and so he chose this community to come live. Now, here's the thing. He shows up and he's like, "Well, what am I gonna do?" All right. Two things. First thing is he saw that local gas station that's right across from the old Burger Inn, Espy's. Okay. You know what I'm talking about? On Pershing, right there? Yeah. On Pershing and Schneider. He saw it was broken down, and he's like, screw it, I'll buy it. So he bought that gas station. Here's what he's going to do. He's turning it into Moody's Rock Stop, right? Really? So he's got his own line of CBD products that are going to be sold out of there. And on top of that, it's a rock and roll themed gas station. So like I'm sorry I'm giving this away. It's badass. The toilet is like listen, the toilet cover is a Fender guitar. Like it's so sick. It's so sick. But here's the best part. Five Finger Death Punch, look it up. They do so much for the troops. And I mean, when I say so much for the troops, it's not just they just don't go and play. I mean, they've been a part of rescue missions and stuff. I mean, they're big on it. So what he's doing is they're going to be, first of all, they're one of the, if not the only locally owned gas station in town. I mean, I know Sinclair's Wyoming local, but I mean, they're the only Cheyenne owned. they're going to be the only gas station that gives a 10% discount to military and veterans.
Shout out to that. Shout out to Ivan Moody for doing such
Ivan
a great
Moody
effort.
for that. They're the only one in town.
Wow.
They're the only one. And so that's going to be real cool, right? And so there's that. He's also, Ivan has struggled with addiction in the past real bad. I mean, you can look up, he's got a very checkered past, but he's not ashamed of it. Well, to talk about it, because now he's sober and he's proudly sober. And he's
shout out to that.
And he's proudly cleaned up. So he noticed that there's not much in town as far as like for people who want to, you know, actively get sober. So he also started a rehabilitation center, an outpatient center.
Really?
Once again,
What's it called?
It's called Sierra Coral.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be, so he's opening that up as well. So he's got these two things. Now, the grand opening of the Rock Stop, we're able to announce it now. We had to hold it off. Now, you've heard me say it's going to be July 1st. We had to move it. It's now July 15th. Now, here's a cool thing. It's going to be a part of Culture Fest.
Love it.
Oh, that's amazing.
So Culture Fest, you got the motorcycle show. They're going to be doing Tribe Zoo Tattoo is going to be doing a tattoo convention.
Eddie,
You got
paint slingers.
Eddie with the paint slingers doing graffiti, and
Let's
then
go.
down the street on the corner of Pershing and Snyder, we are going to be having a party to open up Moody's Rock Stop. I'm talking,
We'll be there.
we're going to have live bands. We're going to have, we're going to be giving away, listen to me now. We're going to be giving away 25 tickets to see Five Finger Death Punch and Papa
Let's
Roach
go.
No kidding.
Let's
at
go.
the thing. And
CRD.
on top of that is even bigger. We're going to be giving away to a select few, and by select few, I mean under 20 people, VIP access to a Q&A that CFD is holding with Ivan Moody, where the mayor is going to be giving him a key to the city.
No kidding.
So if you listen to me, July 15th, and it's free, July 15th, come downtown Cheyenne. Everybody's going to be, you're going to be able to get a tattoo. You're going to see the paint slingers. You're going to be able to do that. And then make your way over to Pershing on the corner of Pershing and Snyder. We're going to have live music. We're going to be giving away all these tickets. We're going to be doing that. And Ivan's going to be doing the red ribbon cutting. He's going to be addressing the town saying, hey, what's up, neighbors?
Wow.
This is me. This is here. We're going to be doing all that. It's going to be a huge event. We want as many people there as possible. We
Show
want
up.
to flood the streets.
Yeah, show up.
And,
That's all you gotta
it's
do.
free. It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
On this note, shout out to Ivan Moody. Thank you for what
real.
you're doing for the community. Home
Yes.
away from home, WyOriginal. I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for this
to the family.
event to go down, and then we get you on the show so you can personally talk about who
Yes.
you are, why you wanted to do this, and why Wyoming is your home.
Now, and I gotta say, it is public news, so I'm not like
Yeah, this is a
going
fact.
against anything. But the reason we had to postpone it is Ivan's actually recovering from surgery. At which was tough, so he had to like postpone dates and even big tours and stuff like that. So that's why we had to push it back. I know you've heard me say July 1st. It's now July 15th
heard it here
as
again.
part of Culture Fest. July 15th. And you're gonna see it. You're gonna start seeing banners up for it. You're gonna start seeing posters for it. We're gonna make a really big deal about it. But I gotta let you know. I mean, it's gonna be super duper exciting. And
bet. We'll
and
be
to
there.
team up with Culture Fest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like just spend all day downtown in a blossoming city doing cool stuff.
Telling you, man, this is the type of shit that I love about this city, dude.
I love it. I love
Check
it.
it, man. Honestly, man, like I honestly think this is a great fire show, man.
Yeah.
Like honestly, man, like the collaboration of what these artists are doing, the efforts they're putting back into the community, a WyOriginal moment. My brother showing up,
Drop.
creating more WyOriginal moments through
sir.
his company.
I wasn't supposed to be here right now.
It's
But,
fate,
and
man.
I'm so thankful for the universe making it happen. It all happened organic, naturally, and that's what's the beauty about this show, man. It's nothing's rehearsed. It's always just it's a great space. It's put together the way it's supposed to be, And man, what a great show, man.
He's lying. This was written down word for word. If you look under the table, there's a no.
Man, yo, I love these guys. I love what they doing. I love the fact that what they've done and what they believed in got them to the point of why giving back and being more responsible to what is giving effort to and whatever efforts those are. Mm-hmm. Shout out to these dudes, Alien Nation, helping out and being real community original leaders.
Love it. Absolutely. Anybody got anything else?
I think.
Yo, real quick, I just wanted to share one of my favorite Alien Nation moments.
Let's go.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Man, I know you guys just briefly mentioned it earlier, but probably one of the most legendary things that I've seen y'all put together for this community was the rap battle back in the day, man, down in the basement of the old
the Geek Garage.
Geek Garage.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, man. I know I was there, man. I don't know what max capacity is for that basement, but y'all doubled it.
Yeah, we did, and like I said, we were young. We didn't really know what we were doing, and we did not expect that many people to show out.
I love it.
And we had like a 8 Mile style rap battle going on.
We had the owners scared. Like, I'm not joking. They were scared. Like, because there were so many people down there in that basement, and it was hot too.
Yo, if you guys remember, who was the winner?
Oh, it was. He goes by. It's Chris. I know his name's Chris.
Barry, is it?
I cannot.
I can't remember his name
Because I heard he was
Barry
fire.
Barr's younger brother.
I heard he was fire.
It's
Him and Swifty. It came down to those two, and
Yeah.
Chris.
Well,
kinda
Chris,
beat
Did
him.
you guys have a prize?
If
for
you
that?
see this,
Yeah, it
we
was
paid
like
out $300 to the winner,
Shout out to these
And-
guys. They've been doing
Had
it.
St.
Here's the
Paul
other
and WyO up in there performing too.
and we paid them too.
oh, fire.
We just charged $5 for people to get in, and then we used all that money to give to the rap battle winner.
I love it.
And then we
Look, so
split
they
up
were-
the rest for
They
the
already knew what
performers.
they was doing. Now
Yeah.
they just magnified it.
Nice.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Shout
We
out to
thought
them,
we
man.
thought we knew what we were doing, but I'm
Hey,
telling
we're-
you, we were like scared little boys up in there, like, oh God, like.
Please don't
a
break
lot of
anything.
money.
I don't
Like,
wanna-
what are we doing? I swear. But that was a big moment too for us too in Cheyenne, because that,
Nice.
I mean, it pretty much empowered us.
Yeah, Drop helped us out with that too. I remember
Yep.
he did a fire flyer for that thing.
Yeah, I still have that flyer on my Facebook, like the $300 cash prize winner, and it was
I don't know, man. This
was-
is exciting, man. Like
Legendary.
the vibe of this set today was amazing.
it
man.
feels good to
And
come
thank
on
y'all
here.
for being here. Thank you for putting in that time and making sure
Absolutely.
you stood to do it because you had to, bro.
I'm
was
telling you,
here.
it feels
That's
good
it.
to be on here, especially to be on here with all of you guys right here,
Absolutely.
and because I mean, this is just crazy.
It's an honor
It's
for
not
sure.
crazy,
Thank
man.
you guys.
It's beautiful,
It's
and we're
beautiful,
blossoming,
yeah.
as you said, bro.
Definitely
So
blossoming.
Yeah.
shout out
It's
to you
blossoming.
guys
Yep.
for always taking the time to give us a few of your minutes. I mean, we go over an hour, but those minutes and those streams and how you help this possibility keep me in the effort. Shout out to you.
Absolutely.
Most importantly, it's very thankful that you guys give us your time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
We're growing. We got big things coming up that we can't even talk about yet.
Oh,
you
we
know,
can't.
so support. Show up.
show up.
Talk about it. Get the word out there. Tell your friends, your families, your congressmen. I don't care.
This podcast,
Anybody.
We just figured out the name of this podcast. Show up.
Show up.
Show
Just
up.
show
Be
up.
present.
That's
Yeah.
all we need. You
Show
know.
up.
Again, this is about community. That's how this all came together. We talked about this. It all came together just because we want to support
I mean,
community.
I feel the love in here right now. I really do, man. I feel these vibes, and it's amazing.
And
Right?
shout out to our other guests, this fucking moth that keep bothering me. I've
Listen,
tried to
man.
ignore it, but it's bothering me.
Listen, man.
Wouldn't it be Wyoming without it?
attention. We get everybody's attention. man.
Yo, listen, we've been wrapping this episode up for about 10 minutes now. But I gotta tell you this hilarious story about a moth real quick.
All right. Is this a story or a joke?
No, well, it's a story, but it's kind of about a joke. But no, let's okay. So you remember back in the day? So a couple years ago, we used to do all these shows at Dillinger's, right?
Oh yeah, dude, that was were legendary times.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we had the hip hop nights was Thursday night,
yeah.
right? But on Tuesday night was comedy night, and so you'd have all these comedians come up from Colorado and Salt Lake City and South Dakota, like all over, right? And we had this comedian, man. His name's Apples. He's literally named Apples. He's a big boy. He's about 6'4". Real, if he wasn't a comedian, he could have been a professional wrestler. You know what I mean? Just big boy. But the thing is, Apples talks like this. He's like, "Hey everybody, I'm Apples. How you doing?" Right?
I'm mad I missed that.
Yeah. He was hilarious. Anyway, after the comedy show, these guys go up to him and they're like, "Yo, man, do you want to go to the Green Door?" Right? Which is legendary WyOriginal, by the way. But they were like, yo, for those that don't know, it's a strip club. So they were like, yo, you want to go to the Green Door? And he was like, sure, that sounds fun. And then he goes in, and this is what he says. And no offense to the Green Door, we love you, but just this is hilarious. He comes back, and his eyes are like this big. He's like going like this. And he's like, I was like, how was it? And he was like, it was the only strip club I'd ever been to with a moth. He goes, I've never been to a strip club with a moth before. And he's like, I'm sitting there watching these ladies do their thing, and there's this moth just like flying around and hitting things. Probably him. And he goes like this. He goes, and the thing was, I was trying to help out, so I went to grab it because I'm a tall guy, and some dude stand up and he was like, hey, don't you mess with that moth. I got a pool game with him in 15 minutes. He's like, that's Larry. He works here,
Oh, so that might be Larry.
That's Larry. That's Larry the Moth.
Okay.
He wanted to come into the podcast too. But whenever I think of a moth and shine in the summertime, I think of Apples and the Green Door and those days at Dillinger's and all of that.
It wouldn't be Wyoming
Larry.
without moths, bro.
Yeah.
Every time I see a morph, it's gonna be Larry.
Larry now. So
That's what it
anyway,
comes
so
down
our
to.
other guest, Larry. Anyway, I think that's a wrap. Once
Yeah, that's
again,
a wrap,
thank you for our guest drop.
Thank you.
Alien Nation.
Thanks for having us.
Support, show up. And once again, this was the one, the only, the WyOriginal Podcast. Peace. Show, fellas. Thank y'all for coming out.
Beautiful. Thank you for having us.
Don't leave me hanging, Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Yo, we got one more thing to do. We gotta take our pictures. We gotta do pictures. We gotta do our pictures real quick, and then you can leave, bro. What you think?
Yeah. I gotta wait for the drop. Hold on.
Oh shit! Yeah, show 'em some extra love on
We will.